The coronavirus pandemic has a multifaceted impact on the insurance sector globally and locally in client countries with both negative effects and offsetting elements. It can be expected that insurance will be significantly affected negatively, given that they provide coverage for claims for death, health, and other adverse contingencies. Welcome to another edition of Islamic Finance Weekly. We begin first with the update in the Islamic finance industry. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has urged Muslims and other faith-based organizations to support refugees struggling to cope with the repercussions of the global COVID-19 pandemic through the Refugee Zakat Fund. In a statement at the official launch of the UNHCR's 2020 Islamic Philanthropy Report in Qatar, Mr. Khalid Khalifa, Senior Advisor and Regional Representative of the UNHCR to the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, emphasized that in the countries where UNHCR operates, the COVID-19 pandemic is an emergency on top of an emergency. The report, which highlights the impact of Refugee Zakat Fund on vulnerable refugees and internally displaced persons, IDPs, across the globe, revealed that in 2019, the Refugee Zakat Fund received a total of over $43.16 million, including the largest ever single contribution made by Thani bin Abdullah bin Thani Al Thani Humanitarian Fund of over $35 million, which has helped to support a total of 164,696 vulnerable families. Today, we will look at COVID-19 and the Takaful Insurance industry in Nigeria, the challenges and opportunities, which are excerpts of a presentation by the head of Halal Takaful Cornerstone Insurance PLC, Mrs Thaibat Adeniran, at a recent webinar. She began by giving an overview of the Takaful industry, which emanated from Sudan in 1979. According to her, at the global level, there are 324 Takaful operators in 47 countries. This is about 2% of the total Islamic finance industry, according to Islamic Finance Development Report 2018.
As the COVID-19 situation unfolds, governments around the world have a responsibility to look after their people, and most are doing exactly that with the resources they have at hand. Apart from government bodies and healthcare establishments in unforeseen circumstances, such as these involving loss of life or job and the collapse of entire businesses, people are also looking to Takaful or insurance organization for support. As such, the industry must be an enabling and uplifting force for its customers during their most vulnerable financial situation. Insurance is a century-old business which has witnessed many global pandemics over the years. The like of Spanish flu in 1918, which, by the way, wasn't Spanish at all, and the more recent Ebola outbreak have caused insurance enough to be prepared. Insurance constantly factors such risks into their model and analyze potential implications. They equally employ dedicated catastrophic response teams, such as those for natural disaster. But it's not as simple as it sounds. COVID-19 is an unprecedented situation that is putting tremendous pressure on even the world's richest and most powerful nation and their health system. If we have to look at the history of Takaful, the first Takaful company was set up in Sudan in 1979. Globally, over 324 Takaful operators in 47 countries, that is only 2% total Islamic finance industry. We have like Sudan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Kuwait, Malaysia, UAE, and equally Nigeria. The global Takaful market reached $19 billion in 2017. But from 2013, it was 12.3 billion. And 2014, it was 14 billion, which shows that the market is further projected to exceed 40 billion by 2023 at a compound annual growth rate of 13% from 2017 to 2023. That's the projection.
Looking at Nigeria, she informed the participants at the webinar that Takaful was introduced into Nigeria in 2003 to drive financial inclusion amongst Muslims, Orthodox Christians, and those with ethical inclinations.
Overview of Takaful operation in Nigeria. In as much as we know that Takaful was introduced into Nigeria in 2003 to serve as a vehicle to drive financial inclusion among Muslim, Orthodox Christians, and those with ethical inclinations. It equally provides a path to deepen insurance penetration and contribution to Nigeria's GDP. At first, there are 2 windows and 4 approved Takaful operators in Nigeria. Its product offering include family Takaful businesses, that is individual and group, and equally general Takaful businesses. The required paid-up capital to operate any Takaful outfit for life or general business is 100 million, while for composite business is 200 million. Insurance in totality, that is both Takaful and conventional penetration, remain limited. In 2016, insurance premium represented less than 1%, that is 0.3% of the GDP in Nigeria. This is very low compared to the worldwide average of 6.1% and the African average of 2.8%. General insurance premium have consistently been higher than life insurance premium. In 2016, general insurance accounted for 68% of insurance premium written.
She highlighted the challenge of the Nigerian insurance sector, which as at 2016 has a penetration level below 1%.
By 2016, there was 3 window Takaful operators, that is African Alliance, Niger Insurance, and Cornerstone Insurance. The only insurer that provides life and general insurance was Cornerstone, and it accounted for the 45% of premium, while African Alliance, who was the first to provide Takaful insurance, had the second largest of 42% share. Well, Niger Insurance had 13%. Of all the Takaful premiums, 60% are life and the remaining 40% under the general, being a new Takaful industry. In 2017, we have 5 Takaful operators, 2 new standalone composite Takaful operators, that is JAIS and NUN, were granted license. As of 2019, the number has grown to 6. 2 new standalone composite Takaful operators, that is Cornerstone and Salam, were granted approval.
In terms of Takaful premiums, she said 60% are in the life category, while the remaining 40% are general Takaful.
The impact of COVID-19 on Takaful customer and operator. COVID-19 really affected the Takaful operator. One of the challenges faced is inability to pay contribution, which is called premium. There was higher request for path review because people need to sustain themselves during the lockdown, and some equally surrender their plan. There was review of cover. Most people, instead of not being on cover, they opt for third party compared to comprehensive motor cover they've always been on. There was conversion of maturity process to pay for another Takaful needs. Like somebody who has a mature family cover, now decide, okay, please use it to cover my motor Takaful. Most customers adopt transfer instead of check, because during the COVID-19, there was no clearing opportunity. So most third-party checks could not be cleared. So they opted for transfer. Most customers now request for wider cover on their family plan and equally group scheme, like medical, cashback, hospital cover, and many more. Most customers were able to utilize proceeds of their Takaful plan to cushion the impact of lockdown.
She gave a perspective on COVID-19 and its impact on Takaful prospects.
We need to remember, no one saw this coming or was prepared to scale up to the unique demand of current circumstances. In view of that, most prospects now appreciate the need to plan appropriately utilizing Takaful. More prospects now seek for better understanding on Takaful, because a lot of requests, how does it work, how can I be part of it, is what is coming in, day out. There are so many knowledge sharing platforms equally open for discussions in order to make people understand what benefits on Takaful and how they can equally partake. People now appreciate benefits of Takaful as a lot of claimable incidents. For example, fire incidents, accidents, or even death materialized and people were being compensated. So, which is a very good relief, even with the COVID. Most people, they now find it as there's a worry of survival during the and after lockdown, because there's financial drop and most people don't even have source of income. Their income was very, very tight.
Speaking further, Mrs. Adeniran gave insight into ways Takaful industry can support the insurance sector and economy during and post-COVID-19 pandemic.
So what is contribution of Takaful during COVID-19? There's need for operators to offer proactive and empathetic customer engagement to manage the crisis better and retain customer when the tide turns. Some of the things that operator does is coverage, applicability, and health and safety devices. Some provided that. Round-the-clock availability across human and visual channels. A lot of channels are being utilized to communicate with customers. We have like WhatsApp, online, webinar, and many more. Predictive claim capability and automated payout power and data analysis. Equally, frictionless claim through smart system, and equally agile smart workforce enabled by technology. It has been that technology is the thing. It has really supported this lockdown for most of the Takaful operators. There's need for Takaful operators to have digital platforms that enable the collaboration of diverse stakeholders like the insurance, emergency service, hospitals, employers, and many more to work together and help customers in their desperate time.
Mrs. Adeniran also called for a review of policy terms for Takaful post-COVID-19.
What next after COVID? Takaful operators need to review their policy terms because it has been seen and many of the terms deny coverage due to some exclusion. I know most Takaful operators are now looking at the possibility of incorporating some of the needs of the insuring public as part of the cover for their family products. Customers will expect such insurance policy to address the many gaps revealed during this crisis. Insurance must capitalize on the opportunities and put up their investments in innovative products and services. There is equally need to intensify awareness campaign to continue to educate the masses on the benefits of Takaful via media relation, radio, TV, WhatsApp, name it. There's so many media opportunities that can be used. More so, use of technology to improve product distribution cannot be overemphasized. There's so many products that Takaful operator have to provide as means of cushion for the insuring public. We have like the fire and special peril, which cover buildings, lock-up shops, and many more, even homes. Burglary Takaful equally cover homes and lock-up shops, motorcycle, name it, you can get covered. Group and individual personal accidents is a very key one, especially for those that have more than 3 employees working for them. It covers most of these risks that we are talking about and equally have extension that they can equally buy into. Oris, Takaful, there's so many because we can't even exhaust here. Equally, we have group, association, community that can take off family Takaful. You can take it up as an individual or probably as an association or group. It can be a term assurance Takaful, which is one of them is funeral, or probably a whole life assurance Takaful. At the same time, individual has a lot of products that you can equally buy into, like marriage, mortgage plan, pre-green plan, Salah and Eid celebration, individual retirement pension plan, and many more.
And lastly, she gave the outlook for the Takaful industry post-COVID-19.
According to a FINA 2012 report, we found out that 4 million adult population would like to have Takaful products. With a growing population of Muslims in Nigeria, there exists a huge market for the product with a continued public awareness. The future is indeed assured. All Muslims and non-Muslims need to ensure adequate plan and patronize Takaful operators for all their insurance needs that will earn them surplus where they record no claim. Lastly, post-COVID-19, contextual and clear communication should be the norm. Insurance must be more transparent than ever in their coverage and communication, and equally reinforce trust in the ideal of truth. Hassle-free financial protection at the time of need. If all this can be done, there's ample opportunity for Takaful to grow in Nigeria because most people really have trust in Takaful as a product. Thank you for listening.
From the presentation, it is imperative to adopt Takaful as an enabler for the growth of the insurance industry in Nigeria for Muslims and non-Muslims. And that will be all on this episode of Islamic Finance Weekly. For more updates, follow us on our social media handles displaying on the screen. Thank you for watching. Do remember to stay safe and bye for now.